Hi, I am Giorgette Tuazon from Group 2 and today I would be discussing our project which is the tic-tac-toe game. First, let's go to the abstract. This project is an object-oriented program that was all put together and implemented through a game of tic-tac-toe. It has a file input-output function that records the name of the players. It uses pointers and of course, given that it is an object-oriented program, it has classes. The goal is to illustrate the process of designing an object-oriented solution to a small problem by simulating tic-tac-toe, which is a two-person game that lets them mark their chosen cells with their respective characters, and whoever marks 3 in a row wins. For our objectives, of course, one, we have to create an object-oriented program. Two, to implement file input-output, classes, pointers, exception handling, and sorting algorithms, and lastly, to apply the principles and concepts learned in computer programming. For the discussion, of course, to play the game, we let the players mark their chosen cell. Whoever types in their name first goes first. During a turn of the game, the players will pick a number that corresponds to a certain cell, which declares that this is where they choose to place their respective character. It could be an X or an O. For our program, player 1 gets the X character and player 2 gets the O character. They would keep on playing up until one of them marks 3 of the same characters in a row. It could be vertical, horizontal, or diagonal. Whoever gets to complete an entire row first wins. If either player wasn't able to complete an entire row of the same characters, it means that the game is a tie. This would prompt the players to reset the game and play again if they like. Just to make it clear, even though whether or not the game is a tie, the players would still be prompted if they would like to reset the game. For our algorithm, the algorithm for the game is described as a sequence of steps. One is to enter the name of both players. Two, take turns in placing the respective characters in this cell. One turn proceed as follows. Of course, one, you have to ensure that whoever was listed as player 1 goes first. To have each player place a respective character on their chosen cell. If there is already an existing character on the cell, the player can no longer place another one. That would mean an invalid move. If one player completes an entire row with all the same characters, may it be all X's or all O's, the player wins and ends the game. If they have filled out all the cells and none of them were able to complete an entire row with the same characters, this means that the game is a draw. Here is our omelette diagram for reference that shows the relationship between the game class and the player class. For the sample outputs, we have figure 1 here, which shows that the name of the players are stored in a text file. This shows the implementation of the input-output file. The text file is named players.txt, and as you can see right here, we have our players, which is Gerald Anderson and Julia Barreta. Figure 2, here's an output showing that you can no longer place your character in the cell if the other player has already chosen that cell. As you can see right here, player 2 has the character O and he has chosen cell 1 as seen here, and player 1 gets his turn and enters the number 1 as well, which shows that it is an invalid move because as I have mentioned in the algorithm a while ago, once the player has placed a certain character in the chosen cell, the other player can no longer do that. Figure 3, here's an output showing that player 1 wins because he has filled out all 3 X's in a diagonal position as seen here. Okay, for the last one, here's an output showing that no one won. The game is a draw because as you can see on the figure here, no one was able to fill out an entire row with all the same characters. For the conclusion, the group has successfully designed an object-oriented program, which is the tic-tac-toe game. We were able to implement the given requirements, such as having an input-output file, sorting algorithms, and using classes. Based on the results generated by the tests conducted on the program, the tic-tac-toe game ran smoothly. Fortunately, no errors came up while we tested it. As the players have played the game, we were able to store their names in a text file, which is the players.txt. There were two classes, namely game and player. And as soon as the game ends, the name of the winner prompts on the screen if there is indeed a winner. And if it is a tie, there is a message that says game is draw and asks the players if they want to play again. For our recommendation, one thing that we could recommend though is that it would have been better if there is a random generator of who gets to be player 1 or player 2. We feel as though this would add more thrill and mystery to the game. Thank you.